You think respect is about being the loudest voice in the room. You think it's about asserting yourself, making bold declarations, commanding attention through words. You're wrong. Watch the people who actually hold power. Watch them in boardrooms, negotiations, social gatherings. They're not the ones talking. They're the ones everyone watches when they move. The ones whose silence creates more tension than anyone else's words. There's a reason for this. When you understand what they're doing, you'll never look at human interaction the same way again. Most people are terrified of silence. They fill every gap with noise because silence feels like loss of control. But that fear is exactly what strips them of respect. The moment you feel the need to explain yourself, justify your presence, or verbally assert your worth, you've already lost, because respect isn't given to those who demand it. It's automatically transferred to those who don't need it. Here's what's actually happening when you walk into a room. Before you say a single word, everyone around you is reading you. Not consciously, not deliberately, but their primitive brain is scanning for signals. Are you a threat or an opportunity? Are you confident or insecure? Do you belong here? Or are you trying to convince us you do? And you're broadcasting the answers to these questions through 1,000 micro behaviors you don't even know you're making. Right now, you're probably making mistakes that destroy your presence before your mouth even opens. Let me show you what I mean. You walk into a meeting or a social situation and immediately your eyes start darting around, looking for validation. Check in if people noticed you, seeking a friendly face to anchor to. That's approval seeking, and everyone sees it. Or you enter a room and immediately shrink your physical presence, pulling your shoulders in, making yourself smaller, trying not to take up too much space because you don't want to seem arrogant or imposing. That's submission. You're telling everyone around you that you don't believe you deserve to be there. Or maybe you're one of those people who can't stop moving. Fidgeting with your phone, adjusting your clothes, touching your face, shifting your weight from foot to foot. You think these are just nervous habits. They're not. They're energy leaks. Every unnecessary movement broadcasts anxiety. It tells everyone watching that you're uncomfortable in your own skin, that you're not in control of yourself. And if you can't control yourself, why should anyone trust you to control anything else? And then there's the talking. God, the talking. You fill silence with verbal garbage because you think engagement means constant contribution. You interrupt people mid-sentence because you're afraid if you don't speak now, you'll lose your chance. You over-explain simple points because you're not confident the first version landed. Every extra word is a plea for acceptance. Every interruption is desperation disguised as enthusiasm. And everyone in that room feels it, even if they can't articulate why you make them uncomfortable. The cost of all this is enormous. You're not just failing to command respect, you're actively repelling it. People unconsciously move away from chaos and towards stability. They follow certainty, not effort. And every one of these behaviors screams uncertainty. You're working so hard to be noticed that you guarantee you'll be dismissed. But there's another way, and it starts with understanding something fundamental about how humans operate. We are pattern recognition machines obsessed with status and safety. When we interact with someone, our brain is constantly asking, is this person above me or below me in the hierarchy? Are they dangerous or safe? And here's the critical part. We make these judgments based almost entirely on nonverbal information. Think about it. When you see someone move through space with complete calm, when their energy is contained and controlled, when they're not seeking anything from anyone, your brain interprets that as high status. Why? Because throughout human evolution, the individuals who were safe, fed, and socially secure didn't need to rush, fidget, or seek approval. Only the anxious, threatened, or low-status members of the group displayed those behaviors. This means respect isn't something you earn through achievement or verbal argument. It's something people feel compelled to give you based on the energy you project, and that energy is entirely within your control. It's not about genetics or natural charisma. It's about physics, the physics of presence. You become a center of gravity instead of a satellite orbiting others, seeking attention. You demonstrate through your body that you are anchored, certain and unmoved by the chaos around you. When you master this, something remarkable happens. People start watching you, not because you're doing anything dramatic, but because you're not doing the 1,000 small things everyone else is doing. You stand still while others fidget. You maintain eye contact while others glance away. You speak only when you have something worth saying, while others fill silence with noise. And that contrast creates magnetism. Your calm becomes the standard against which everyone else's anxiety is measured. Now let me give you the exact signals that create this effect. These aren't tricks or hacks. These are fundamental behaviors that rewire how people perceive and respond to you. First, posture. Not the kind of posture your mother told you about. I'm talking about skeletal alignment that broadcasts unshakable confidence. Here's what it looks like. Your spine is vertical, not tilted forward like you're apologizing for existing, not leaned back like you're trying to look casual. Vertical, your shoulders are down and back, not tensed up near your ears, not rolled forward in submission. This creates width. You occupy space. Your head is level, chin parallel to the ground, not tilted down in deference, not tilted up in artificial dominance level. This alignment does something profound. It changes your physiology. When your body is aligned, your breathing deepens, your cortisol drops, and your nervous system shifts out of threat response. You literally feel more confident, which makes the posture authentic instead of performed. But more importantly, this alignment is what apex predators display. It signals to everyone around you that you're not prey. Second, eye contact. This is where most people completely destroy themselves. They either avoid eye contact entirely, which broadcasts fear, or they lock on too intensely, which broadcasts aggression or desperation. Neither creates respect. Here's the frame. When someone is speaking to you, you hold their gaze steadily, not staring through them, but resting your attention on them with complete calm. You're not trying to intimidate them. You're not trying to show interest. You're simply present, unshaken by the social pressure to look away. When you speak, you hold eye contact for the first few words, then break naturally to think or gesture, then return. This pattern shows you're connected but not needy. You can afford to look away because you're not afraid of losing their attention. And here's the key most people miss. When you break eye contact, don't drop your gaze down. That's submission. Don't dart your eyes around. That's anxiety. Turn your head deliberately. as if something else legitimately earned your attention for a moment, then return. This shows your attention is valuable and you allocate it consciously, not reflexively. Third pace. Everything you do should look deliberate, not rushed. When you walk into a room, you're not hurrying to get to your seat like you're late to your own life. You move with purpose, but without urgency. When someone asks you a question, you don't snap back with an immediate response like you've been waiting to prove yourself. You pause. You let there be a beat of silence where you actually consider what you want to say. This does two things. It shows you're thoughtful, not reactive. And it trains people to wait for you, which is a subtle form of social dominance. Fast movements and fast speech signal anxiety and low status. Slow, controlled movement signals confidence and authority. This doesn't mean you move in slow motion like some artificial performance. It means you eliminate hurried, unnecessary motion. Every gesture is complete. Every step is grounded. You're not being pulled by external demands. You're moving from your own center. Fourth, space. How you relate to the physical environment tells everyone how you relate to your own power. High-status individuals expand into space. They're not sprawling obnoxiously, but they're not contracting either. When you sit, you settle in completely. Your back touches the chair, your arms rest openly. You're not perched on the edge like you might need to flee at any moment. When you stand, you root into the ground, feet shoulder width apart, weight distributed evenly. You're not shifting, swaying, or hovering. You're planted. And here's something powerful. When you enter a room, take a moment at the threshold. Don't rush in. Stand there for just 2 seconds. Take in the space, then move. This tiny pause communicates that you're assessing the environment, not being swallowed by it. It broadcasts control. Fifth, stillness. This is the most advanced signal and the most powerful. Most people cannot be still. They bounce their leg, tap their fingers, adjust their hair, check their phone, shift positions constantly. All of this is noise, and noise repels respect. Practice radical stillness. When you're sitting, sit completely. When you're standing, stand completely. No extraneous movement, no fidgeting, no self-soothing gestures. This is incredibly difficult at first because stillness forces you to feel your own discomfort instead of escaping it through movement. But that's exactly why it's powerful. When someone sees you completely still and present while everyone else is squirming, their subconscious registers you as the most secure person in the room. Stillness is the ultimate signal of internal peace, and internal peace is magnetic. Now here's where most people fail. They learn these principles, they practice them, and then they walk into a real situation where someone tests them. Someone interrupts them mid-sentence. Someone disrespects them publicly. Someone creates tension or conflict. And in that moment, they panic and revert to all the old patterns. They start explaining, defending, raising their voice, trying to verbally re-establish dominance. And they lose everything. The real test of silent authority is what you do when you're challenged. Here's the frame. When someone interrupts you, you don't talk louder to compete. You stop talking completely. You turn your body toward them. You hold their gaze with calm neutrality, and you wait. Just wait. Let the silence sit there. What you're doing is refusing to participate in their frame. They wanted to see you scramble. They wanted to see you fight for the floor. By going completely still and silent, you flip the script. Now they're the one creating awkwardness, not you. And 9 times out of 10, they'll trail off or someone else will intervene, and you'll have more respect than before. When someone disrespects you, the instinct is to immediately defend yourself, to fire back, to prove they can't talk to you that way. Don't take a breath. Let there be a pause. Then respond with slow, measured words, or don't respond at all. Just hold eye contact with a slight smile, as if their disrespect is so beneath you, it's almost amusing. Then turn your attention elsewhere. This communicates that their opinion genuinely doesn't matter to you. And that kind of non-reaction is devastating. It shows everyone watching that you operate from a place of such internal security that external attacks can't penetrate. When there's tension in the room, when conflict is brewing, everyone else will start talking faster, moving more, trying to resolve it or escape it. You do the opposite. You get quieter. You get stiller. You become the eye of the storm. This positions you as the stable force, the one people look to for guidance, because you're the only one not being swept up in the chaos. So here's what you're going to do. For the next 24 hours, you're going to implement these 5 signals with ruthless consistency. You're going to monitor your posture every time you remember. You're going to practice holding eye contact without fear. You're going to slow down every movement and every word. You're going to occupy space instead of shrinking. And you're going to eliminate every fidget, every unnecessary gesture, every energy leak. 24 hours of complete intentionality. And you're going to notice something. People will start treating you differently, not because you told them to, not because you earned it through accomplishment, but because you stopped begging for their attention and started commanding their respect through silence. Because respect isn't given to those who work hardest to get it. It flows naturally to those who already carry themselves as if they have it. Stop wasting energy trying to convince people of your worth. Start embodying it and watch them feel it without you saying a word.